In a bold attempt to fill a glaring gap, the Leafs management has made a significant trade that could change the dynamics of the team. However, with early struggles on the ice raising eyebrows, fans are left wondering if this acquisition was worth the steep price. Will this player step up and prove his worth, or will the Leafs be left searching for answers once again? The Toronto Maple Leafs are at it again, and it's hard not to feel a mix of excitement and frustration with the latest developments. We've been on a quest for a solid third-line center, a position that's haunted us for years now. And while the hope was to finally find a solution during the NHL trade deadline, here we are again, wondering if we've truly filled that void. Brad Treliving, our new GM, made headlines recently by acquiring Scott Laughton from the Philadelphia Flyers. It seemed like a promising move at first, especially considering we gave up Nikita Grebenkin, one of our top prospects, and a first-round pick to get him. But here's the kicker. Laughton has yet to find the back of the net in his first 7 games with the Leafs. That's right, 7 games without a single goal. As a fan, it's tough to watch. The expectations were high, and so far they've been met with disappointment. After losing Braden Shen to the Blues, I really thought Laughton could step up and become the third-line center we desperately needed. Instead, he's been playing on the 4th line, and I can't help but feel the frustration bubbling up. We missed out on Ryan O'Reilly earlier this year, and it's really showing now. With Austin Matthews and John Tavares leading the charge, we need someone reliable behind them. Yet we've been stuck with a revolving door of options like Max Domi, Kalle Jarnkrok, and even rookie Fraser Minton, who, let's face it, is still finding his way. Looking at Minton, it's hard not to think about what could have been. He's been traded to the Boston Bruins and is putting up points in their AHL affiliate, while we're left scratching our heads, wondering where our third-line center went. There's no denying that we need offensive reinforcement, especially with the season rolling on. The pressure is on Laughton to deliver, but honestly, he hasn't yet. His stats with both the Leafs and the Flyers show 27 points in 67 games, which, let's be real, isn't exactly lighting the world on fire. What happens if Laughton doesn't turn it around? It's a question that looms large over the organization and its fans. We've invested heavily in this player, and if he can't fill the role we envisioned, we may be stuck in the same position we've been trying to escape. It's a precarious situation, and as a passionate fan, it's hard not to feel the weight of these decisions. The team is at a crossroads, and every move counts toward our ultimate goal of playoff success. Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, I appreciate the aggressive approach to fill a critical gap, but on the other, I can't help but feel like we might have overpaid for a player who hasn't yet delivered. The stakes are high, and the pressure is mounting with each passing game. As fans, we pour our hearts into this team, and every trade, every signing, shapes our hopes and dreams for the future. We want to see progress and improvement, not just a carousel of players who can't quite fit the mold. The Leafs have a storied history, filled with highs and lows, and right now it feels like we're teetering on the edge of another setback. And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Let's talk about Laughton and the future of our team. Are you hopeful he'll turn it around, or do you think we need to explore other options before it's too late? Your thoughts matter, and I'm eager to see how you feel about these latest moves and what they mean for the Maple Leafs moving forward. When the Toronto Maple Leafs traded a first-round pick and prospect, Nikita Grebenkin, for Scott Laughton, expectations were high. They envisioned Laughton as a solid third-line center, a player who would bring depth and experience to the roster. But here we are, just 7 games into his tenure with the Leafs, and the mood among some fans has turned sour. It's understandable. Laughton has struggled mightily, raising questions about whether Toronto overpaid and whether this trade was a mistake. Let's be real. Laughton wasn't the Leafs' first choice. They swung for the fences with Mikko Rantanen and missed. That forced GM Brad Treliving to pivot and use the team's limited trade assets in a way that now feels a bit desperate. Laughton had been on their radar, but when Treliving pulled back from an earlier deal for him and then acquired Brandon Carlo from the Bruins, it caught many off guard. Initially, there was a wave of optimism surrounding Laughton's arrival. Analysts praised his character and leadership both on and off the ice, touting his versatility and reliability in defensive situations. He was seen as a player who could be slotted anywhere in the lineup and contribute secondary scoring. But instead, he's yet to find the score sheet, with just 5 shots on goal and a disappointing -3 rating. His journey began on the third line, but it didn't take long for him to be demoted to the fourth. When Laughton is on the ice, the Leafs have been outscored 7-1 and outshot 47-20. That's not exactly the kind of impact you want from someone you traded significant assets for. This isn't the first time the Maple Leafs have faced a situation like this. Luke Fox from Sportsnet has drawn parallels to the ill-fated trade for Nick Foligno in 2021, where Toronto also gave up a first-round pick for a player who ultimately didn't meet expectations. The difference here is that Laughton has term on his contract, so he's not a rental player who needs to make an immediate impact. Still, with the playoffs looming, he needs to step up and be the player everyone thought he could be when he was acquired from the Philadelphia Flyers. Former Flyers coach Craig Berube has voiced that Laughton might be overthinking his game right now. He said, "He's thinking too much instead of just playing." That's a tough situation for any player, especially when you want to impress in a new environment. The pressure is mounting, and fans are starting to wonder how long it will take for Laughton to find his footing and contribute meaningfully to this team. Given the price paid, he really needs to start providing more than he has so far. So, what do I think? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, I get that it takes time for a player to adjust to a new team and system. On the other hand, the stakes are high. The Leafs are gearing up for the playoffs, and they need every player firing on all cylinders. Can Laughton turn it around? I hope so. This team needs him to be that reliable presence they were expecting. And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Do you believe this was the right move? Could Laughton still become the player we all hoped he'd be, or are we looking at another missed opportunity? Let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Toronto Maple Leafs. And make sure to activate that notification bell to get all the latest updates.